A damp and dreary day is causing problems for many Missourians. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reek.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. The recent rain has residents living along the Mississippi River struggling to keep their towns from flooding. About 100 members of the Missouri National Guard are joining in on proactive and, in some cases, reactive efforts to build levees. About 50 guardsmen went to Clarksville, where they constructed a 1,500-foot sandbag levee. In Dutchtown, another 50 guardsmen are on hand to fight floodwaters. KOMU 8's Dan Kennedy is tracking the problems and joins us in the studio. Dan?
All those guardsmen you mentioned, Brittany, will stay in these towns as long as they're needed. As you said, most of the flooding is restricted to towns along the Mississippi River, kind of close to St. Louis. In Dutchtown, the river was already 8 feet above flood stage and rising with an expected crest of 42 feet on Thursday. You're looking at pictures right now of some National Guardsmen. But if the levee were to break, several dozen homes in the town of about 100 people could be damaged. And about 30 miles away south in Clarksville, much of the same story as residents work to fend off floodwaters. Volunteers, residents, and guardsmen are ramping up the sandbagging effort after part of the downtown levee began to break. The situation in Clarksville was looking up after reports that the river was leveling off, but ironically, that was because the levee was breached upstream. Rocks that made up the levee protecting downtown started to give. Now a triple layer of sandbags will be there to reinforce the wall. And when you look at this map, you'll see last week's nationwide rainfall totals. Missouri and Illinois have been hit the hardest with more than 5 inches of rain in parts of Missouri last week. But the National Weather Service is calling for the Missouri River to start falling and for St. Louis to drop below flood stage by this weekend. And our chief weather forecaster, Dave Schmidt, is standing by right now to tell us how much more rain we can expect. Dave.
Well, the good news there, Dan, is that things are tapering off pretty nicely. We're seeing the end trailing off, but during